like AC said, we got Charlotte this week. They're coming off a really exciting, dramatic win for them. Last second win against North Texas Saturday night, where they won 39-38. So they're sitting record-wise the same as us at 3-5, and coming off a good win just like we are. So I think Charlotte is a really good football team. They play hard. A staple of their program, for a long time, or at least since we started playing them, is they play hard, and they're doing that now. And I go back to 2015 when we scored a bunch of points on them. They were still playing hard, and then 16, 17, and 18 they did the same. And so this team really plays hard. And so we've got to finish. We got to play better than what we've played. Played a little bit better Saturday, and we got to continue to build on that. But they got the second leading rusher in the conference, Benny LeMay. I think is really good. He's physical. He runs behind his pads. He's a really tough, hard-nosed runner, averaging over 100 yards a game in conference play. So he's really good, and they utilize him a lot in the passing game, probably more so than they ever have. So he's a guy that is very dangerous. Their quarterback, Chris Reynolds, completing 61% of his passes. He's, I think, 15 touchdowns and 6 interceptions, maybe 5 interceptions there. They're doing a lot better job of protecting the ball this year. They're running the ball, they're protecting the ball, they're making big plays in the passing game. So it's a really good offense. And then defensively, you're going to get a mixture of fronts, whether it's 3-man, 4-man. You're going to get a mixture of coverages from quarters to man. So we've got to be able to handle all the pressures that they give you. And then they're very solid in their kicking game. So, again, I kind of sound like a broken record. I say it every week, but we got to focus on ourselves. We got to get better. We've got to improve this week, each day, individually and collectively as a team. We have to get better, and that's our mindset this week. We haven't won a game yet on the road. When you go on the road, it's hard to win games. You guys know that. It's hard to win games. It's even harder to win on the road. So, and then you be in a conference game. So, we gotta make sure we're ready mentally and physically from a toughness standpoint, from a preparation standpoint, because we're going to get Charlotte's best effort Saturday afternoon. So I'll open it up to you guys.
You guys enter November, and you've historically been pretty good in November. I think you've won 12 out of your last 16 games in the month. Just what makes it about this time of year where you see the best out of your bunch?
Well, you hope your team's improving as the season progresses, and that old saying, you remember November, and there's a lot on the line when you get to the last month of the season. No matter what school you're at, there's always a lot on the line. So I take pride. We take pride, in how we play November, and it goes back to finishing. Finish what you started. It doesn't matter if you're 3-5 or 8-0. You have to finish. You finish the season. You finish what you started, and that's what I'm proud of our teams. We'll always fight and compete and play as hard as we can, to the end.
Charlotte's got one of the young and up-and-coming coaches in Will Healy. I mean, what has he brought to that program that maybe it didn't have in years past?
Well, I thought Brad Lambert was a great coach. I have a lot of respect for Brad, and I thought he did a great job in building Charlotte's program. And you look at Charlotte, when they became Division I and they came into our conference, they got better each year, under Brad's leadership. And, their administration made a change last year, and, they won 5. I think they won 5 games last year. They were close to being bowl eligible. And, but I thought Brad did a great job in laying that foundation. So with Will there, I'm not there every day, so I don't know. But he's done a really good job. Their team plays hard. They've got a good scheme offensively and defensively. But he's done a nice job in the short period of time that he's been there. He's done a good job. Like I said, what he's done different, I don't know because I'm not there. But the players play hard. They're playing hard for him, so he's doing a good job.
Going into the second half last week, it was really an interesting dynamic to see how two teams handled the same adverse situation. You guys knew it was going to rain, but I don't know if anybody knew it was going to be like that. How did you prepare your guys, in particular at halftime, knowing what was coming up in the second half? Because they seemed to embrace it, have a good time. FIU had the body language that looked like they didn't want to be there.
Well, we talked about it, Chip, the weather all week. I told them, it was potentially to be windy, potentially be a lot of rain. We practiced Friday in the rain. We went out and practiced in it, to kind of get acclimated a little bit. Talked to the receivers, about on Wednesday. I didn't let them wear their gloves, get used to catching the ball with their hands, because you're not going to wear gloves when it's wet. And so we did that. And then, to me, the big thing, I got after them a little bit at halftime because, we had stunk it up the previous 3 games, Marshall, FAU, and North Texas, coming out in the third quarter. And, we had to come out with some juice, with some energy. Our leaders, our captains, our seniors, they really did a good job of carrying that message to the field, and just talked about, not making any excuses. If you handle the ball, you got to handle it. And, we did a really good job. We didn't have any quarterback centers, bad snaps. They did. We didn't have any fumbles by our quarterback or our running backs. They did. We had a bad snap early in the game on a punt, but that was a bad snap. That wasn't due to the weather. They had a bad snap on punt, mishandled it, there in the third quarter, and we got a touchdown out of it. So I just talked about a mindset of, being mentally tough and not making excuses. And we went out there and, the offense went out the first drive and took it down and scored. And then we did a great job creating a turnover on kickoff coverage and got a field goal out of that. So, we scored 10 points, and the defense hadn't been on the field yet. So then the defense came out, and, they just continued that, their relentlessness, how they played, defensively, the second half. So I guess to answer your question, it was just a mindset of, we weren't going to make excuses. We were going to come out with some passion and some energy and, really play a really tough game and not make excuses.
2 weeks ago, before the North Texas game, you said on paper the two teams they were a little better than what they looked on paper with their records and whatnot. In this game, two teams, 2 games under 500 with 2 losses in the conference already. But are the two teams better than what they look on paper again this week?
I think we're getting better, from the last time I said that. And, you look at it, we've played FAU, FIU, North Texas, Marshall. They've played FAU, FIU, North Texas, Western Kentucky. So we've played similar conference opponents. Obviously our out-of-conference schedule was a lot tougher than theirs. So we're very similar, in conference and who we've played. And I just think right now I think it's 2 evenly matched teams, that the team that protects the ball and goes out there and, plays the best, in all 3 phases is the one that's going to have a chance to win the game because, two of us we're pretty much the same.
You think that
I can hear you.
do you think that the ability to run the football, it was under unusual circumstances, obviously, but to carry momentum and confidence in being able to run the ball to carry that forward?
Yeah, I think so, Chip. You know, when you look at the first half, you know, I think we had 178 yards or 175 yards rushing, you know, so, you know, we were on track to have a good rushing game. We struggled throwing the ball, you know, the first half. Obviously, we didn't throw it the second half, but we struggled throwing the ball the first half, and, you know, we were 5 out of 10 for 22 yards, and, you know, that's obviously not very good. We got to be better than that. So, you know, we've got to – it was easy, I think, and maybe easy is not the right word, but it was a little bit more convenient to be one-dimensional the second half against FIU, one, because of the score, and two, because of the elements. You know, I don't think we can have that imbalance like we had moving forward. So we've got to be better, you know, in the throwing game, and then continue to build off the running game, because we have gotten a little bit better each week running the ball. I think our offensive line is doing a good job, and, you know, our receivers are doing a good job blocking on the perimeter, you know, and now, you know, Terrell and Jay, hopefully they've got a little bit more confidence, you know, coming off the games that they had, that, you know, we don't have to rely on Asher as much in the run game for production.